As I was reflecting on these readings yesterday, I thought, mercy, what am I going to preach about? This is kind of heavy stuff that we're dealing with inside here. And as I was meditating, I thought about when our Holy Father, Pope Francis, had been named Pope and came out into the balcony. It was one of my favorite moments because he offered general absolution to anybody in the square or watching. And that meant I didn't have to go to confession. I love that. But what I loved with how he introduced himself as a sinner. And I thought, well, if the Holy Father can call himself a sinner, I have a chance of redemption. I know you folks wonder about that, but I think if the Holy Father, can be honest about characterizing himself as a sinner, then we ourselves should realize that we too are sinners and that we have hope. What I liked about it was the honesty in how he characterized himself. I don't think it was false humbleness. I think it was really a humble sense of him understanding the awesome responsibility that would have been given to him, and him also having that opportunity to just be very, very honest with everybody and to reflect that there was really nothing about himself that would lend himself to earn being on the seat of Peter, being the next pope. That great humility is a humility that we all should exercise in our life. But it also provides to us a great sense of hope as well, because I think we can beat up on ourselves. I'll tell you, the past couple of weeks, if you've been listening to the readings, as I've been proclaiming them, Jesus is indicting the chief priests, the scribes, and the Pharisees. And he's trying to get through to their really hardened hearts to have them understand that he's calling them to be sincere, to understand that they are in need of his help as much as everybody else is. In the end, they don't. Their hearts remain hardened. He even goes as far as to accuse them of being hypocrites. Now, every time he goes off and he accuses them of being hypocrites, I wince a little bit inside, because I think there are moments inside my life. In fact, I shouldn't say think. I know there are moments in my life in which I am a hypocrite. It's one of the reasons why I go to St. Anthony's shrine in Boston for confession, is because I realize that. Also because they're pretty easy at confession too. Fairly light penances. But what I understand is, that hypocrisy that everybody has inside their lives. Almost everybody's a hypocrite in some way. We don't want people to know that. So how do we deal with that inside our lives? Well, one, we try not to be a hypocrite, so we try to be sincere in our conduct. Two, I think prayer is one of those great gifts that God gives us that can change things in our lives. So if we feel that in this moment we're a hypocrite or we have a problem with hypocrisy, why not pray that God gives us that great sense of humility, acceptance, love, and mercy? One, to accept his mercy, to forgive us for our shortcomings. Two, to take that mercy and pass it on to those who need that inside their lives. Jesus, in today's gospel, it's a pretty strong gospel. But if you read it in certain ways, you can see it either with clouds or with sun. I see it with the sun over it, because what I see is Jesus really trying to get across, in a very aggressive way, hope. His Father's hope, that we will be saved, that we will be received into his heavenly kingdom. And he just makes very, very clear, and he tells us, if you are on my Father's side, all will go well. If you are on my Father's side, you will experience happiness in this life, and you will experience ultimate happiness in the life to come. On this, the conclusion of the 100th anniversary of the actual visions of the three children in Fatima, we're reminded of that great gift that the Blessed Mother has left to us in prayer, and the hope that her Son has given to us, that through prayer, united in our relationship with God, that we might see him in the world to come. In this world, he He has a lot of work that he wants us to undertake inside that. And so he wants us to spread his mercy. He also wants us to spread his joy. He says, you go out this day to the people. As you interact with your friends, bring the good news of Jesus Christ by taking care of the poor, the marginalized, the lonely, those who are alienated, those who are in most need of God's love.